All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Mr. Pisto Plays Magic the Gathering Arena Brawl deck tech and gameplay session. We have Mono Black Midrange with LOTH SPIDER QUEEN, a 5 mana 4 loyalty planeswalker that says whenever a creature you control dies, put a 1/1 loyalty counter on LOTH SPIDER QUEEN. It's 0 as you draw a card and you lose a life. It's -3 as you create 2/2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach, so they attack really well and they block really well. And the -8 is you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage to one or more creatures you control. If that player lost life less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. So effectively they're losing 8 life if you hit them for 1 or 2 or 3 if you can get to the emblem. The deck is more mid-range control style of deck. We'll go through the cards. I'll give a little bit of an explanation on why I picked each one, and then we'll get into a couple games. All right, let's look at the cards. So we have Bloodchief's Thirst, destroys something early, small, destroys anything later for 4 mana. Duress, we can pick a non-creature non-land card from that player's hand and discard it, so it's nice to get rid of removal spells that are going to kill our planeswalkers or our creatures. Sanitarium Skeleton, good card to sacrifice, good card to bring back, or easy to bring back from the graveyard. Serrated Scorpion, another good card to sacrifice, also a good blocker early game. Village Rites, card draw, and sacrifice outlet, one-off sacrifice outlet, but still helps us put counters on our planeswalker. Erebos' Intervention can destroy a creature, or it can also exile cards from a graveyard. Boot Nipper, usually putting a death touch counter on this. It's good early game. There's a card similar to this in the new D&D set, but that has to attack to get death touch, whereas this has death touch all the time, so that's why this is here. We're trying out Check for Traps. It's pretty much the same as Agonizing Remorse, probably not quite as good, but I wanted to give it a go. You get to exile a non-land card from your opponent's hand, and if it's an instant card or a card with flash, either your opponent loses 1 life, otherwise you lose a life, so you just a little bit of hand disruption is good. Deadly Dispute, similar to our Village Rites, except this you get to sacrifice a creature or an artifact, so it's kind of cool. And it also draws you 2 cards instead of 1, but it's 1 extra mana, but it does create a treasure token, so it does ramp you a little bit. Kind of cool. Discordant Piper, it blocks early. It's also good sacrifice fodder because you get 2 things to sacrifice with. Feed the Swarm, one of black's only enchantment removal spells. It also destroys a creature. Heartless Act, you can destroy any creature or, well, destroy a creature with no counters on it, but you can also remove counters from creatures. So if something's getting too big and you're in combat, you might not be able to kill it, but you could shrink it so that it dies. We have Null Priest of Oblivion, a 2 mana 2/1 menace lifelink, great early game blocker and attacker, but then late game you can pay 4 extra mana and bring any creature from your graveyard back to the battlefield, so it's good early, good late. Skyclave Shade, another one of those creatures that's good to sacrifice. Mind you, it can't block, but it also attacks fairly well as a 3/1, and you can play it from your graveyard if a land entered the battlefield under your control. Arcane Signet, taps add mana. Eye of Vecna, 2 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card and lose 2 life, and then you can every upkeep you can draw 2 cards if you need to. So I thought that it was a good include in a deck like this one. Then we have Callous Blood Mage, makes a little 1/1, draws you a card but you also lose a life, or exiles a player graveyard, so it's in here because it's super flexible in what it can do. Rika's Libation, another one of those target opponent sacrifice. This time it's a sacrifice as an enchantment, but is one of black's only ways to get rid of enchantments. Otherwise you can sacrifice a creature. Sedgemoor Witch, we do have a decent amount of instants and sorceries in the deck, so pooping out little 1/1s every time you cast an instant or sorcery can help us build a board and give us things to sacrifice to increase our commander's loyalty. Wolf Drider is the sacrifice engine in the deck. It is one of the best cards in the deck, being able to sacrifice another creature to scry 1. It does come with another little 1/01 goat, and you can also escape it from your graveyard, so even if they kill it, they have to exile it in order for it to go away. Grim Tutor, find any card in the deck that we need at the time. You do lose 3 life, but that's fine because you're tutoring up what you need. Murderous Rider destroys a creature or a planeswalker for its swift end, and it also is a 2/3 with lifelink, so it has a lot of flexibility. Araya, Fist of Locthwain is our 1 at a time each turn. Sacrifice Outlet, also it drains a little bit, so when a black creature enters the battlefield, your opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Also a little bit of has some synergy with when we combine it with Nightmare Shepherd, that when a card is dies, if it's non-token, you can exile it and return it as a 1/1. So that plus Grey Merchant, you can get Grey Merchants triggered twice, and we'll talk about those a little bit more in a minute. Heraldic Banner taps for black, makes all our black creatures bigger. Agadeem's Awakening, you can play it as a land, or you can return different creatures with mana value X or less. So if we cast it for 6, we can get a 1, 2, and a 3. And we have a decent curve in the deck where that is something we can do. Both Baleful Mastery and Eat to Extinction exile a creature or a planeswalker. This one puts a card on top of your library into the graveyard if you want to, or you can leave it there. This one you can pay 2 and make your opponent draw a card, but I don't usually do that unless it's in a real pinch. Ebon Death Dracolith, because we are sacrificing a decent amount of things. This is a 5/2 flash flyer, one of the new legendary dragons in the set, and being able to cast it from your graveyard was a recurrable threat in a deck that likes to sacrifice things. We have Gelatinous Cube, 4 mana 4/3, and another new card from the D&D set. It has Engulf. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature and opponent controls until Gelatinous Cube leaves the battlefield. This has black X dissolve, put target creature card with mana value X exile with Gelatinous Cube into its owner's graveyard. So you suck it up and then you dissolve it away. Hagra Mauling, it can be a land, the Brood Pit, but it can also destroy target creature. Nightmare Shepherd, we talked about a few seconds ago. So a non-token creature you control dies, you can exile it and then return that as a 1/1 token, which is a nightmare in addition to its other types. So we can sacrifice multiple things and reuse their ETBs if we want to. Rankle, Master of Pranks, 4 mana 3/3 flying haste. It is a sacrifice outlet to help us with Lolth, but it also makes each of us discard a card. Each player loses a life and draws a card. It's symmetrical, so whatever you pick, both of you do. It's just a good general beater as well. Then we have Grey Merchant of Asphodel, 5 mana 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life or X your devotion to black. We have a decent amount of mana symbols in the deck, so this can hit for 7, 8, 9, 10. And when we have those 3 cards, or those 2 cards plus a sacrifice, it does a lot of damage. I wanted to try Westgate Regent, 5 mana 4/4 flying ward. Discard a card. So if you play this late game and they want to kill it, they have to have 2 cards in hand. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put that many 1/1 counters on it. So if you can hit twice with this thing, probably close to game over. We have a couple 6 drops. We have Blood in the Snow. That's why we're playing Snow Covered Swamps. So it can destroy all creatures or all planeswalkers, and depending on how much snow mana, you can bring back something with at most 6 converted mana cost, which is every single creature in the deck, every single planeswalker in the deck. So that's a pretty solid synergy there. We have Professor Onyx, one of my best performing videos that I have ever put out, over 1,000 views. So thank you everyone who's watched those videos. She is great. 6 mana 5 loyalty planeswalker, has Magecraft. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, opponents lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. It helps you draw cards. It makes your opponents get rid of their highest power creature, and then if you can get to it ultimate, you probably win the game by getting them to discard cards. And if they can't, they lose 3 life, and you repeat that 6 more times, so you do it 7 times. Then we have Massacre Worm, is a big beefy creature that shrinks all your opponents by 2 when it enters the battlefield, and then when a creature and opponent dies, they lose 2 life. And we have Castle Locthwain. We have the new creature land, the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. You can pay a black and 3 colorless, and it becomes a 3/3 black beholder creature with menace. Whenever this creature attacks, exile target card from defending player's graveyard. Also still a land. It also comes into play untapped if you control 2 or fewer. I guess if it's the second land you play, it comes into play untapped. After that, it becomes into play tapped. We have 17 swamps, crawling barrens, faceless haven, and field of ruin. All right, that is our Loth Spider Queen mid-range deck. Let's get into a couple of games. All right, Mono Black versus Mono Black. Yeah, we can keep this. 2 draw. We got a draw spell. We got a creature we can play. Yeah, let's do it. We're up against Tergrid, God of Fright. Gonna be interesting. If we don't draw a land off this, we might pay 2 on upkeep to draw. That is a land. I know there's a whole set to this card, but I just thought this part of it was the best part to play for right now. Sure. We let go the... Our hand is actually quite painful. I think we let go for Rika's... Or Frika's Libation. We're going to decline. Glad we did. Alright, let's draw a card. Lose a life. Yeah, there's a good one. I don't know if we want to gelatinous this. It doesn't sound like it's a good idea. I'm not blocking. And once again, we are discarding a card. I think we discard the ooze this time. We'll eventually be able to get it back with the blood in the snow. But it's not the best thing to get back with blood in the snow. Why do they make it so hard? Neither of these are very good to suck up with this. Because when they get it back, they just have to make us discard something. This one. Eventually this will be good. We're going to decline again. Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider. Do we offer up the trade on the 1/1? I guess so. This board is super cool. I think we just play out a 2/3. Nah. What do you got for 1 mana? Village Rites. Give me something I can ooze. Can't ooze that. These were the... I was contemplating between the two, but I wanted to give this a try. This is probably better. Yeah, we'll draw it this time. All right. Still nothing. This is gonna be a grindy matchup, I think. Two creature lands. Why are you playing all these creatures? You're going to decline. Sedgemoor Witch. That's interesting. I still think we do this. Make our duders.
Do what I demand.
So if they play Tergrid and then they make us sacrifice or discard something, we need to discard this so that they don't get any, or this. But I don't really want to discard that. Guess we're discarding this. Put that in the play tapped. Then we can Blood in the Snow next turn. Or we can Sedgemoor and Murderous Rider if they play their Tergrid. Lots of options. They also have lots. They have lots of options too. Wonder what they're gonna do. Or maybe they're, oh, here we go. Now they're going to sacrifice this. We are going to guard that. We are going to kindly decline. Yeah, I do think this is stronger. I'm gonna play this. Murderous Rider that. I don't think what we would draw off of our Loth would change this play. Draw a card, lose a life. Only going to attack with one because they have these two, and I would like to be able to block them with the and not offer up our Sedgemoor Witch. We're actually getting close to Blood in the Snow being able to get us to the, we need what, 4 more? If we get 4 more, 5 more, 3 more creatures. I think this check for trap should also be an Agonizing Remorse, but we want to try the new stuff. If you want to target the Lolth, that's fine by me. Need a Tums. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. Oh, they're just making all the manas in the world. What are you ramping to? I think I will draw this. That's a nice one. All right, let's draw a card before we do anything. Another land. We've done a lot of damages to ourselves. And this is probably going to do a damage to us too. Yes, it will. And that's the game. All right. Unfortunately, it ends with a salty scoop, but we probably had that game after getting rid of that. All right. On to another game. All right, how do we feel about playing against probably all the counter spells and all the removal spells that are known to mankind or humankind? We can keep this. Got that card draw again. Let's play this out so we don't forget. I got your creature on the land. Haha. And then I think we're gonna get this going. Give it death touch. The 2/1 with lifelink doesn't do too much for us. You gonna kill it? Wow, that's aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Countered. Not countered. Nice.
Envy the strong, for they consume the weak. We will slay.
Destroyed though. Oh. Sure. Okay. That's a new fun one. All right, let us draw a card.
Good minions
That is not a land.
and deadly.
Let's see if they'll sacrifice. Will they let this happen? This saw it coming. Is. Okay. So at the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until the end of that turn, that player can't cast spells, and you can look at the top card of their library at any time you play the top card. Incoming. Blocky block block.
My will cannot be denied.
Ashiok. Well, this game just started to suck. Game is probably over unless I can draw.
It's bold to part with me.
Let's do this. I guess that. And let's play the sanitarium skeleton. Off of that. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not gonna block. We'll let it go.
The light is insufferable.
That's a good one.
Under my tutelage, this is my favorite part. Watch the life essence fade.
And then skeleton blocks here, this blocks here, sure.
My kin are delightfully friendly.
Luck. Zach. Rankle. Wonder what that is. Alright, first we do this. Huh. What should we pick? I don't know. It's a hard decision. It's a really hard choice. I think we take the land. That was really tough.
They have impeccable study habits.
Alright, I don't need to kill any of those lands at this time. That, do that, play this. Want that gone. This is a 7/7 coming in hot.
I abandon my work.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do they not? Okay. All come in here. Oh, my tutor. I'll kill one. Bye bye, Liliana. Blood on the snow. Hey, hold up. Do this. Then we do this. Get back Ashiok, I'm guessing. Shark. Okay. Oh, it's too bad I don't have a boatload of snow manas. What could I get back? Get back this. That's probably what I want. I play this. Take that. Then I can I do that at any time? Yep. What are they doing? I'm not suiciding myself into that. Well, that's unfortunate. And I feel good because I can... I'm pretty sure I can... Sure, that doesn't do anything though. They can block. This only does 3, this is 4. Ooh, that's cool. Maybe this is not as scary as I thought it would be. Ashiok comes down and you feel like you're just gonna die. Yep. That... Okay. I think that was either a misclick or we're done here. We're done here. All right. 2 W's. Loth kind of was more of a distraction while the deck did its thing. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. Mr. Pisto to you. Please take care of yourself. Bye for now.